All right. Welcome to a very special episode of Digital Cortex. I'm your host, Dick Wick, and we have Randomstylez with a little werewolf virus.
You might have seen me have a change.
I don't know. What does Luigi do? He just says, he gets scared, right?
Mario.
Oh, we should have preloaded the sound effects on the thing.
I know how we could have put like spooky sounds and stuff.
I found the time.
Maybe next year. We'll do that. I was trying to look for just like Halloween sounds, but there's like a lot of like songs that have werewolf in it, like werewolves in London and werewolf sounds. Here we go. Let's see.
Is that what a werewolf sounds like? Is that like a legitimate werewolf sound?
Oh. Let's see. Oh. Sounds aggressive.
Well, I just blew the biggest cloud there.
Okay. But anyways, as you can see, this is our Halloween special.
This is the Halloween special.
Yes.
What are we doing different in this? We're dressed up in costume. That's pretty much it. But, you know, we have fun here. We like to be a little different sometimes and fucking show up in costume. Why the fuck not?
Right. Cheers.
Cheers. That last rip was real harsh in the throat. And I don't know why. Don't.
Let's see.
Now you can hear it clicking. I didn't think it was a bad thing. I mean, you're doing it. It's cool. That's on the medium setting right now. But damn, we're going to set the smoke alarm again. Get some! Do you think your lung capacity is pretty higher than average? Like, can you do what's your longest inhale?
It's pretty good actually, because I actually tested it.
Should we do an inhale challenge?
I can bring the little breathing tester thing.
No, I just meant with this.
No, this has like readings of like different.
No, I've seen the little ball thing.
Yeah, and there's a little ball and it goes up. I have one of those at the house because when my wife got pneumonia, they wanted her to
you have to
practice breathing in and reach like 2,000 whatever
to get your lungs moving up and to move.
Yeah. It's not PSI. It's not pounds.
No. It's its own thing.
Yeah, it's its own oxygen level reading thing.
And dogs are going crazy. What's going on? Oh, it's Amazon. It's just Amazon.
Yeah, and she was like, she could barely like get it up to where they wanted her to practice, and then I did it, and I was like, man. I was getting all the way up, like halfway, 3/4 of the way up. And I was like, man, that's all the years of bong rips.
I know.
I was like, you must
have some powerful lungs.
Yeah, I've been working my lungs out. That makes sense because how many rips of smoking have I done?
I feel the opposite. I'm like, are my lungs weaker because of all the smoking?
I think they're better.
You think they're better?
Yeah, they're better.
Well, see, that's why I proposed the little challenge, because I just thought it'd be fun to see, I guess, would that fuck us up? How fucked up will we get?
Yeah, if you keep smoking, you will get fucked up. That's a fact. That's how it works.
So we're doing something fun tonight, actually.
Okay.
Yeah. It was supposed to be like just we haven't had a lot of opportunity to go out as just a couple. So, of course, my wife is just like, we never do us time. So I saw this thing and I thought it was perfect. It's both of her hobbies thrown into one. She loves plants and doing the house plant thing. And she loves smoking. So found this thing, they're calling it a Little Plant Shop of Horrors or something like that.
Okay.
I think that's what it's called. But it gloves. So what it is they have this plant shop. It's like $35 to get in, I think it was, or for the pre-sale price. And they're sponsored by a bunch of different dispensaries and different just, what do they call them? Not manufacturers, growers, companies that sell
companies,
weed and shit.
Yeah.
Like brands, different weed brands.
Farmers.
Are they farmers?
I don't know. They're growing.
There's some weird ass farmers.
I think they just call them growers. But it kind of sounds dumb, you know? I mean, they're really they're farming, right?
Yeah. So Little Plant Shop of Horrors, and it's called Garden Sessions. And so there's going to be a bunch of different vendors, I guess, there. And your admission lets you sample all their shit. So they're going to have like a dedicated dab session. You have unlimited dabs you can do all night. And other people are going to have different products and you can smoke in the place and whatnot.
Nice.
Yeah.
So they're just giving you joints and shit just to smoke?
Yeah.
Nice.
You pay the $45 to get in for it.
And then it's just kind of like a buffet of weed.
Just like a buffet of weed.
Nice.
I know. I mean,
and you get to sit around plants.
You're welcome to come if you want. It starts at 7, but I mean, she's gonna be real pissed off if we go together.
Oh, if I go too. I'm just third wheeling it.
Yeah, I know. I was telling her that my mom was in town, and I'd mentioned it to my mom, and she's like, "That was supposed to be our thing." I was like, "Whoa, my mom's not coming though."
Yeah.
I was like, shit. I almost got my head chopped off because of my mom.
You just brought up mom, yeah. I get it. Because the tension is taken away, you know, from just you and her time. And stuff.
It's because like we do something. I just feel like we are the busiest
you've been in a while. Yeah.
With no kids. So I feel like we shouldn't be as busy. And maybe if I told you what our average day looks like, you'd be like, bitch, shut the fuck up. You're not busy. But I just feel like it's always so busy. Like there's never any time in the day.
Yeah.
Everything just goes boom, just like that.
The days do go by fast.
Work and all the projects that we have at work and things that go on there. Coming home to, get the chores done, walk the dogs, get the dinner on the table. Crystal is constantly driving around for work all day to different sites. And so it's just, by the time we're both exhausted to try to find the time to do other stuff.
Yeah.
Like it just doesn't happen. Then when the weekends come around, there's always a friend or an event or something that we're doing with people or family or somebody's birthday or something. And I feel like when we plan things for just one event for that day, that's all that we have to spare because we also don't want to go out. So it's this thing between like, we want to go out as a couple and have date nights and stuff. Yeah. But at the same time, we're just both too overwhelmed and exhausted from the work week that we just want to come home, put on some TV, binge watch something with a bowl of ice cream and get zooted.
I mean, that is together time. It doesn't feel like it because you're in the house.
And that's what I think. I'm like, oh, well, we spend time together all the time. And she's always like, that's not the same.
It is.
And I'm like, but we're always around each other and we do nothing but talk to each other. and spend company time with each other.
But we need to go outside and talk to each
go
other.
on a date. What are we going to do different on a date? We're still going to be talking about our dogs and our plants and their life.
And your day.
It's not going to be much different. I mean, I get she wants a change of scenery. That's fine.
You need it sometimes,
and
yeah.
I want to give that to her. You know, I get it. I get the point of view.
Yeah.
But like, I also at the same time just feel like we do spend every second together.
You guys do spend a lot.
I
think if you told people how many hours, just not what you're doing together, but just how many hours you spend together, people are like, what are you talking about?
I think about other couples and I'm like, damn, do other people spend this much time with each other? Like,
especially if you're coaching your kids' like team or something, then you're just gone. So you get home, you change, and then you go to practice, and then you know that takes whatever 2 hours,
and I guess
3 hours.
Like it's that different thought of like, you know, when I was younger, it was there were time for friends, and there was time for school, and there was time for you know, myself, and being at home meant that I could do whatever I wanted by myself. Yeah. You know, that was my free space. If my mom didn't care about chores, or by the time I was like in college or something, you know, I'd go home and play video games, and that was my space to just do whatever the fuck I wanted and be me. But now I feel like it's a slightly different, just because there's now like this hour factor. Like, everything is together, so it's not like just my space or my time. And I feel like it feels weird, but I feel sometimes like I think I need to schedule my own time. Like, I want to play video games a lot, but I can't, because it's always like we're doing dinner, we eat dinner together, and then from there it's like, okay, well, what do you want to do? Well, I want to watch this. Could we watch it? And I was like, sure. Or she's like, oh, I want to play Mario, and so now we're just playing Mario all the time. And those games are fun, and we have fun together. So I'm not saying that it's not a good time, because it definitely is. But I also feel like, I guess the variety is gone. Like the variety of where to spend my time outside of my must-do
like it's spoken for
things.
already.
Yeah, it's already spoken for.
Your time's spoken for.
And I guess that's like the one thing that I feel like it's hard to explain to her is like, I just feel like I want to.
Maybe if you chart it out, what if you just put blocks of time, like every 30 minutes is what we did, and then just be like, hey, maybe she needs to see it like on a spreadsheet or something, you know, like.
Yeah, I guess so.
And then you're like, you're like in green. I blocked out every single time we were together, you know, for a day, and then put the whole week and be like, look, we accumulated X amount of hours together. And this is how much time I spend by myself, which is 0. Yeah. But it's not going to be 0.
And it's not like I just want to spend time playing video games by myself or that. It's like there's other stuff I feel like I want to do. Like I want to take some classes. I want to learn new things. I want to invest my time into other stuff. But I feel like I don't want to schedule things like that, because I feel like if I schedule them, now they become like a chore.
Another thing you have to do.
I have to do because it's on the schedule.
Well, it could be on your schedule like free time. And then at least you give yourself like the room to just be.
True, but then I'm also thinking like that's what I'm planning it for.
Dude, Rob Dyrdek, dude. You remember Rob Dyrdek? Robin Big and all that? Dude, he schedules every time of his life now, like, and he's all about efficiency, like you know, like he wants to spend the maximum amount of time that he can with his kids, and like he has a whole like system that he built just based on like he rates his days, like how he felt at the end of the day, how he felt during the day, like, and then he'll go back and look in charts and see like that. He can see him trending up, trending down, and then he can look at what he was doing that day and be like, oh, I don't have good days when I'm doing this, and then when I'm doing this, I have really good days. So he's like, maybe I should do more of that. And then like, so he's like constantly just breaking down his time, and like he just wants to be super efficient. He's trying to get like the most, basically trying to get the most out of life, you know, like that he can. And dude, you know how he schedules his ridiculousness episodes? he started like getting more efficient at that. So like he does like 7, 8, 9 episodes in one day. Like he just busts them out like with his co-host. And I think they go and change outfits and stuff, and then they'll just do another one. Like they're just busting out a bunch of episodes, because then instead of him having, because he thought about that too. You know, I got to drive all the way there. The time in traffic, how much time it gets, takes to set up, all like, and it's probably the studio likes it too, because then they can just bust out a bunch of episodes, and then they're not paying their crew for multiple days, and hours.
That makes sense.
So like he does all that just so he has more time to do other things that he likes to do. Like, so he's really interesting to listen to if you find some like podcasts he's been on, stuff like that, when he's talking about it. Cause like, and then he's doing a whole health thing too, where he said he's had to like rebuild his body from all the like damage he took from skating.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah, like ligaments and muscles and all kinds of like aches and pains. Like he's had to like go to like multiple doctors, and he's trying to like stretch and do all the things that he can to like feel better, or as best as he can now that he's getting up in age. But yeah, he's really, dude, like he sounds so smart about it, dude, and he has such a good attitude about it, just like, I want to spend the time and like what you're saying. Like I think a lot of people go through that, and he's like, look, you don't have to, you can do these things. He has like reminders, and he has like emails where it like breaks down, like he has like a whole team, or at least he has a whole system of how he keeps track of things. And I don't know, it sounds like a lot. I don't think I would do what he's doing, but I like some of the ideas. I like maybe like taking an assessment of the day, maybe just jotting down some things you did that day, and like, how'd you feel? Was it exhausting? Was it?
That's not a bad idea. I should start something like that. And I guess really it just comes down to me needing to just do it.
Yeah.
Like I've started to try and live my life by a different philosophy than how I have in the past. Like really tell myself when I'm making decisions, or I decide to say something, or I'm thinking about saying something, or I'm letting something get to me, like just trying to remember that this is just a moment.
Yeah. And it's gonna pass.
Yeah. And like, why the fuck should I even care about certain things that should affect me like that? Or in the opposite view of like, really this could be one of the last opportunities to try something. So just do it.
Just live.
Just stop making excuses and just
do it.
Just do it. Why are you not doing it? There's no good reason. Like, just understand that this is my world, and only I get to decide how it affects me.
You're player one, dude.
Right. and yeah, there's going to be worldly obstacles that I can't like just, power through, that I've got to deal with. But there shouldn't be any other limitations besides that, If I feel like I should do something, or even as simple as like a project around the house, just, the shed needs to be cleaned out. This weekend, I'm not doing anything. Why the fuck am I not cleaning out the shed? Just spend my time and just get it done. And
then actually you do get a dopamine hit from completing it.
Yeah.
You're like, I completed a task, and you're like, man, this looks nice. And then you look in there and you're like, man, it's so organized. So you get little dopamine hits from like just completing the task too. So It's like, and yeah, it's a full like circle kind of thing, like it's a feedback loop, Not only do you get to do something you've been thinking about, but you feel good because it got done, you know? And then like, you're like, yeah, that was good. That was cool.
My problem though is that like I'll try to start a project and then I never complete it, or I let it sit too long. And now it's just like sitting in the corner. Like there's a bunch of dresses that Crystal had.
Yeah.
That she wanted converted into skirts. And They're all sitting down there. Most of them are pinned up, just waiting for me to turn them into skirts.
Right.
Like,
Ready to
why
go.
aren't I finishing it? Why aren't I finishing it? Because I'm just not.
You're just not doing it.
I'm just not giving myself the motivation to do it because I'm like, oh, I don't want to do that right now. But then I think, well, then what do you want to do right now?
Yeah.
And why aren't you doing it? And if you can't answer that question to myself, then fucking should go on the sewing machine and just do the fucking skirts, even though I don't want to.
Yeah. It's like,
what's the big deal? It takes a second. It's not the end of the world. And I still have more life to live.
and you do actually you do enjoy it too. You do enjoy those kind of things. That's what you have to remind yourself too. Like, even if it's something like that you've been putting off, you're like, actually, I do like doing this. You know?
And you know what? The big thing, it stemmed from two things that I saw. And one thing I saw, one thing I said. Well, you know that Netflix One Piece live action that was a big hit?
Yeah.
Yeah. So when we finished it, I thought to myself, and I thought this out loud to Crystal, is like, we should watch the anime. There's so much content on the anime. It's been out forever. There's so many episodes and it's still going.
Yeah.
And apparently is still pretty good.
Yeah.
Like, people love it and they're waiting for it. And they're like, it's good.
Yeah.
And if something is so good that's been out like that, why aren't I doing it? Why? Oh, because there's so many episodes is the problem, is what Crystal said.
It's daunting.
She's like, it's so scary to think about because there's so many episodes to watch. And I'm like, so? She's like, oh, we'll never finish it. And I'm like, Crystal, we have access to the internet. We could watch the show any moment and pause it and pick right up where we left off. No big deal. And why aren't we doing it? Because there's too many episodes. We'll never finish it. We got our whole life to finish it.
Yeah.
We got our whole life to finish it. Like, I'm talking, if I'm not finished with this episode, this show in my 80s, that's okay because I'm still alive. And I can turn it on right there and then and continue watching it. There's nothing stopping me from being like, what do we want to watch? Just make One Piece the default. Configure it out? No? Then guess we're watching One Piece. What's stopping us? That idea of like, oh, it's too hard. There's this little voice.
You could do like little timers. Be like, all right, I'm going to time it 2 minutes. If you can't find a movie within 2 minutes, then we'll just go to our default list, and then look at your default list and see what's on there.
These are the things that we can watch.
Yeah. Or this is what we need to catch up on. We already watched season 2 of this. We need to watch season 3. Like, yeah, you can do that. And then that way it's like moving things along. Because you guys, it's that saying, you ever heard of paralysis by analysis?
No.
That's what it feels like, right? You're paralyzed by how you're analyzing things. Because you just overanalyze,
right?
Yeah. So you just you're thinking it's like looking at the mountain and being like, I can't climb that. That's way too much. Like, I'll never make it to the top. But instead of analyzing the whole thing, just be like, I'm gonna take one step and I'm gonna keep stepping until I get over this fucking thing.
Because why not?
Yeah, it's living more in the moment than in the future of your results, so like it's very, I've gotten way better at being in the moment.
Dude, you're so good at it. You're so fucking good at being in the moment. Like, you just come up with thoughts and you're just like, we should do this, and I'm like, okay. And you're just like, so we're doing it on Friday, and I'm like, what? I thought you were just saying, but no, you say and then you do.
Yeah,
you're like a living Nike commercial.
It's taken a long time to
Randomstylez.
It's
just does it.
It's taken a long time to get to that point, like to just, because I all the stuff you're talking about, I've done it, dude. I've stared at my garage being like,
I know,
fuck you, garage, and not doing it. And you know what? Like, when I actually finally cleaned it, I was like, this is so much. You feel better, actually. Yes. When stuff's not cluttered. They've done like studies on clutter and like how it not only clutters your room, but it's cluttering your mind, because you can't.
And that's my problem too. It's the reason that I still got like this power strip and that drill there. Yeah. Why? Because when I was done using it in here, I didn't say to myself, take the extra minute and a half it's going to take you
and
put it away properly.
That's one thing that I'm really good at is when I take a tool out, I put it exactly where I got it from.
And that's what happens to my office at work. And then you know what happens? Things pile up.
You know what's
then I look at it and I'm like, I should organize this now. But I get scared of the overwhelming amount of things. And like you said,
the paralysis by
and
analysis.
I'm stuck.
Yeah, because you're analyzing the whole. There's got to be I'm sure there's people who'll be like, yeah, that's called like
it's called ADHD.
yeah, but there's like that specific thing where instead of the paralysis by analysis thing, that's not the official term. I'm sure there's something for that, but it's just allowing things to overwhelm you to the point where you just don't do anything. You know? That's like hoarders. That's like when they fill up their room with trash and shit like that. They're just keeping things because they don't want to face them. It's almost like you don't want to face it because then you have to do something about it. So you rather just not even look at it. But obviously you're not into the hoarders mindset. But it's just like it's that. You just see that and you're like, nah, I'm not even gonna start that. But me, dude, I start enjoying the moment. I'm like, oh look, I can put this away and I can put it in that drawer and I'm gonna fix that drawer and I'll fix the whole drawer. And then I'll be like, you know what? I need to there's a certain tool that it will fit. So then I'll look around the room and find it and then put it in there. And then I'm just like, I just treat it like a game. I turn it into like a puzzle that I'm solving.
That's a good mentality thought.
Yeah. So like I use little tricks like that because I've had to. It's so funny because I was just thinking about this on the way to work. I was like, I don't think people think the way I think. Like I think I'm doing something.
I'm always thinking that people do other people think like this?
Because this is why I said that to myself, because I was like, I don't think people really dissect the way they walk, but I've dissected the way I walk. Like when I'm stepping,
I do that.
I'll think about where I'm stepping, how I'm stepping, what is my posture good, am I walking with some kind of intent? Like I'm not just like flapping my feet, I'm actually
I've been trying to walk like heel first.
And I'm looking at other people and I'm like, they don't do that. I know they're not analyzing their own walk because the walk's all fucked up. Like I literally watched this girl, one foot is walking straight, like forward. Her other foot
the swing?
Is pointed out. So she's taking steps and step and step. Like that's not good. All you got to do is realize that you're doing that and then walk straight.
And you're thinking about it.
You have to think about it. And then you can train yourself to walk that way. And then you won't even think about it anymore. You'll just start walking that way. But it's like these people have these little habits that they do.
That's the thing. I just need to find the best way for myself to create a good habit. And just keep getting in the habit of it.
It's like you got to go into your own mind and start rewiring things. Like the way that you put a motherboard together or something,
Yeah. It's like, you just gotta
when it's not working, what do? You start like, this doesn't go here. Duh. I plugged it into the wrong, port or something, whatever you were doing.
God, I think about that sometimes. Like the way I've done things before and started doing more of that same thing. Like if there was this, like just like you said, a motherboard, like going to fix something or troubleshoot something, I would look at the old Steven of how he put things together. Yeah. And would thought to myself now, like, that's a stupid ass way of doing that. Why did I even think that was a good idea at the time?
Oh yeah, dude. I've done a bunch of that, dude. Like, I stop myself now because I'm like, all right, old self would have done this, and then this outcome would have happened. This person would have probably got their feelings hurt, but then I wouldn't care because I needed to be right in that moment. But why do I need to be right in that moment? Does it feel that good? It feels good for like a second because I'm right. But then now I just fucked up this whole like dynamic I had with this person, and now they're all mad at me, and now we're not talking. And so if I just don't say anything, I could just avoid that whole like timeline and then go down this other timeline where everything is cool. So like I've stopped myself from doing old stupid things, or at least try to stop doing old stupid things. Some stupid things I like to keep doing because they're fun, but you can't stop all the stupid things. But I mean, some of them you can. Like, was it worth it? Because I dissect things that I say. Like, I'll have conversations about conversations I had. Like, oh, I said that, and then they kind of cringed. I could have just said this, and then they would have maybe just laughed or something. Well, I didn't have to get that real, like, because sometimes I go too deep. I explain too much. I'm like, I probably could have stopped halfway into explaining how a pineapple has to fruit. It doesn't just fruit on its own. You actually have to get
when I get too high, I feel like I do that sometimes. Like, I start talking and I'm going and I'm rambling, and then I'm like, why am I still talking about this?
Oh, sometimes you can go outside of your body while you're talking. Yes. You can start having like a third like point of view. Like, but it's not only stoners that do this. Fighters talk about this. They're like, it was almost, I was in the ring fighting, but it was almost like I was watching myself, like some Doctor Strange kind of shit, like floating outside of their body. Yeah. Like, they felt in flow that they were almost like not even thinking about what they were going to do next. It's like a flow state, that you can get into. I think you can get into that sometimes when you're having a long conversation. You can keep talking while you're thinking about something else, It's like you're using another part of your brain. But, yeah, I don't know. I do weird shit. There's more weird shit that I do that probably, if I explain, people will be like, why do you do that? But I don't know. I think I hear guys like Rob Dyrdek talk about, pathways and mindsets and all this stuff. And I hear other guys talk, and it's just like, sometimes you do have to like take a step back and be like, why did I do that? Like, kind of thing. I think that helps. But anyways, the whole scheduling time and stuff like that, it's like I do a thing where sometimes now I don't tell people what I think is the right answer. I let them find it themselves, So you could be like, this is my time. Like, what do you think I should? Do you think it looks good? Instead of being like, look at this, whoop-de-doo.
Yeah, and that's another thing too.
So it's like this little different angle you come at things. You just twist it, just like slightly. It's a slight churn, and you're like, all right, if you really think this looks good, then I guess it looks good. But do you think I should get a little bit of time? Yeah, like, no one's gonna say no. Like, so it's like letting people just come to their own conclusions sometimes helps, because I found a lot of dealing with so many people don't want to be told the answer. They want to come up with them themselves, and they'll feel good if they come. I'll be like, oh yeah, that's a good idea. So I'll tell people, like, I already knew what I wanted to do, but I'll let people tell me like the idea that I was thinking, and then,
dude, I feel like you've done it to me before. Now I'm thinking about it. I'm like, motherfucker was making me feel good.
I don't do it all the time. I'm not like some mad scientist. I can't think of every angle of everything, but I'm just saying, like,
I don't know if my hat's on right now. I fucked it up.
It doesn't always come out like a good outcome, Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, But it's like, at least you're bouncing ideas off of somebody instead of telling them this is the right thing to do, like, right. Or this is what I want to do. Now I'm like, yeah, I mean, I'll say still, like, you can do it that way. I mean, there's a lot of ways you can do something, This is how I would do it. And then maybe they'll like it, maybe they won't, But even, I don't know. I try not to get so invested in things. I think that's the problem that people have sometimes. They're so invested in their idea, Like, well, no, I think this is what happened, It's like, who cares, dude? Like, it's just a random thing that happened, It's like, you don't have to be so married to an idea, like, this is the right answer and I don't care. I leave the opportunity that I'm wrong open all the time. I'm like, yeah, I think I'm wrong. Most of the time I think I'm wrong. So prove me wrong. Or show me how I'm thinking wrong, because this is what I think. So I like to leave it open, because then you won't feel so defeated if you are wrong. You're already accepting. But I like my ideas. I'm pretty confident in my ideas, but I still leave the door open that I'm wrong. That I could be wrong. Because that way, if you are wrong, then you're like, okay, well it gives me the opportunity to be right about this. I always thought, this is how much space it took to get to the atmosphere or something, how many miles it took to get to the atmosphere, and I was wrong. I was totally off on that. So I don't know. Excuse me. I'm just trying to be better.
Aren't we all, though? And it's important too. Like, I was just telling Crystal the other day too about one other thing I do that's just so self-destructive. Yeah. Like, let's say someone comes over to the house for the first time or something, and they're like, oh, love your backyard. It's so nice. It's big. And I'm like, yeah, but this grass is dying and I don't know what I'm doing with this lemon tree. And I just start saying all the negative things down.
Yeah.
And I was like, I shouldn't even do that. She's like, yeah, we both need to not do that.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, just say something like, yeah, thank you. I'm like it too.
Oh, shucks.
Yeah. Just take the compliment for what it is.
Yeah.
You don't need to downplay yourself.
Because you then go into like a negative mindset, and then it actually makes you feel bad. And then now you're thinking about, I got to clean up the leaves in the corner. I've been wanting to do that. I'm just a piece of shit. Instead of being like, that's one of the reasons why we got this place, because we like the backyard. Like, I like that high wall in the back, just start pointing out cool things, like that, because you do have like a lot of cool things. Like, dude, there's people that just have dirt in their backyard, and you're like over here complaining that you don't like a lemon tree, and they're like, I don't even have a. Dude, I've met people, they don't have a tree in their backyard, dude.
No, I know.
I'm like, what the
you can
fuck
go on Google Maps and just see like all the dirt and just. Like, some people don't even have much after their cement patio. It just goes straight into dirt.
Yeah.
It's not even like rocks or anything to make it.
No imagination. No, nothing put together. Dirt. Like, when I first moved into my house, I planted like trees right away, because they need to start growing. They take forever to grow.
Yeah.
So like, you got to plant it and then just let it grow. So, but that means you got to come up with an idea. Like, I want to put this here. I want to put that here. Dude, there's like a million HGTV fucking shows you can watch on landscaping, dude, and get ideas. Start drawing something or something, But yeah, no, dude, your backyard's done. I mean, obviously
there's stuff we could do. Like,
you could change. But you have it's completed. Like, somebody would be happy with what you've already done.
And we have done more to it too,
Yeah.
We've decorated out there, fire pit, we put some seating out there.
Got
I got the string lights running through the yard. Got the little plant.
You got the misting system up there.
Put misters everywhere.
Yeah, dude, this is all
put
stuff.
Speakers in the patio.
This is all stuff that people want to do to their backyard and never do it. And you've already done it.
Yeah. I mean, you remember the backyard at the old place?
A little bit.
It wasn't. It was just like
a little side
thing.
Area. Yeah. I mean, compare that to what you have now.
Yes.
Yeah. So like. Yeah, that's on, just pointing out the good stuff, because you got some cool shit,
Yeah, and why not? I mean, we've had good times like hosting things back there.
Yeah.
There's good space shit for everybody.
It's just that like,
and there's twisting. Like not a lot of like houses with bigger lots like that,
It's a good size. Like, you got
pretty
established
decent.
Trees that give you shade already. Like, you got good stuff back there, and like. Yeah, it's just that whole mindset thing, just like twisting the dial just a little bit. And you're like, oh, yeah, I could just say that instead of the negative thing that popped into my head.
Why do I keep bringing these negative thoughts into my head? That's the thing, is I got to try to figure out how to be more positive.
You don't have to stop the negative thoughts. You can let the negative thought live there, but you don't have to go toward it, you know? Like when the negative thought pops up, like, yeah, fucking look at the rocks. They look like shit. You know, instead of saying that, be like, yeah, you know, I like the border that we put around. Like, just think of something other than that negative thing, you know? Like, instead of saying it, just catch yourself about to say it. Or even if you said something and you're like, oh, that came out negative, you know? Be like, yeah, but I like this area over here. You can always churn it, you know, again.
And that's one of the things I've been actively trying to work on little by little in all the my days, is trying to just be that much more positive with what I say and what I do.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've noticed that in me, but like I've tried to be a change in how I handle my relationships with other people and how I think and allow myself to speak.
I think you've been pretty positive most of the, because if you were always negative, I would be like, man, I don't want to talk to Steve.
Sometimes I let my emotions or my anger get the best of me.
Yeah.
You know, and that's one thing I've tried to work on too, is just trying not to let the little things bug me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, oh, well, I mean, it happens.
Hey, smoking helps with that too.
But even when I was smoking, and because I would say in the last 4 or 5 months, no, probably less than that, probably the last like 3 to 4 months, I've been trying to change my outlook on how I handle things.
It takes time,
you know.
And
so,
you don't have
there would be times that the little things, like this, I would let the littlest things bother me, and I don't know why. Or I would just get mad at the everything else. Like I would think about, you know, things I wanted to do when I was younger.
And then you start living in that. Yeah.
No. And then I just start letting that all negative. And it's like, just stop.
Why am I doing?
Why?
Why am I beating my... People do that. I think that's a normal thing to do. Like, and I think it's okay to have those thoughts. There's nothing wrong with the thought, but I think it's holding on to it. Like when something comes in, you don't have to hold on to it. You can just be like, oh yeah, well, fuck it. And then just let it go. Like just let the fucking thought bubble just disappear into the ether instead of living in it. Now you're living in the, I'm a piece of shit and I didn't even do the things that I wanted to do and look at me now, you know, like,
right.
Because that's living in the past. And then what's the point of living in the past? Like I try not to, my mindset, this is my mindset. I try not to focus on anything that I cannot change or fix. You know, why even give it time? You know, why even rent the idea, you know, because you can't do anything about it.
Right.
Like, what are you going to do about it? I mean, you'll learn from it. Like, yeah, I'm never doing that again, but that's it. You know, like you can't change it. Whatever happened, but you can move forward and you'll be like, all right, I'm just never, you know, wearing sandals when I go hiking again, you know?
No, I know.
Yeah. Like that one time.
Instead of getting all upset because, you know, your feet hurt now.
It happened, yeah.
And they're dirty and cut up and bruised. And it's like, I would have let that get to me. Like, if I got a really bad sunburn or something, then it has ruined my entire life. It's ruined it. It's ruined. I can't live anymore.
Yeah.
What's the point? I have this sunburn. Instead of just being like, oh, fuck, this sucks. It hurts. Oh. But it'll get better.
Yeah. And it does.
Yeah.
Dude, when we were eating those hot wings, I was like,
and that's one thing, like I would have not been happy with my life if I'd, you know, like a year ago, Steven would have let that be the worst thing that happened to him.
Yeah.
Like I got sick. I don't know if I told you, but I got like sick after
we ate wings.
Yes.
Yeah.
I got so sick. It was bad on both ends of my body, man. and it lasted like 2 days.
Yeah.
I was so messed up Sunday.
Yeah. The next day.
I called out of work on Monday.
Yeah.
Because of how disgusting I felt.
You're still getting through it.
And I couldn't keep anything in my stomach.
Yeah.
I was just not feeling good. But instead of like crying about it, you know, I was self-aware about it. I was like, oh, no, I'm not doing good. But I wasn't getting angry. I was just dealing with it.
Yeah. And you just kept pushing forward, and then you're like, oh, I'm starting to feel better.
I started feeling better.
Yeah.
I did what I was supposed to do, and I took my medicines and tried to stay hydrated and was, you know, kept myself occupied.
You got to cleanse is what you got.
Yeah.
That's a positive.
Fucking did get a cleanse, bro.
Dude, I think...
Holy shit.
Dude, you know what? I don't think people know they need a cleanse. I was just reading about this,
I didn't know I needed it.
You're supposed to do a cleanse like once or twice a year at least.
Do I always got to do it with the bomb?
If you do a hot wings challenge, that will definitely
once or twice a week? No, thank you.
No, not once or twice a week. Once or twice a year.
Oh, year.
Yeah.
That makes more sense.
Yeah. Yeah. Because you do get, if you think about your body as a machine, if you think about it like an engine, you know,
need an oil change.
You got to get this, there's buildup. Those pipes are, they're getting buildup from all the fucking Doritos and shit you're throwing down there.
Fuck.
Corn
you gotta
dogs.
bring the Doritos into it.
All the fucking bullshit you've been putting it through.
We're gonna go to the fair tomorrow.
There you go, man. You got some Indian fried bread coming. You got some
shit.
Or a funnel cake, or
That's how we had to reschedule because there's a Bruno Mars cover band at the fair tomorrow.
Nice.
Or something. I think. I don't know. It was something to do with Bruno Mars. I can't remember exactly. And sometimes I forget these small details, but I can't tell Crystal that I forgot because then she gets mad at me because it's like she thinks I didn't listen. But it's not that I didn't listen. It's just that I only remembered this key part about it.
Yeah.
I listened. I just kind of forgot most of the details.
It escapes you.
It does. But
listen to this. Yeah. Here, I was going to send you this video.
Go for it.
But listen to it. This goes along with like...
can I watch it too while you do that?
Yeah, you can't. There's not much to watch, though. Okay. Well, it's just throwing scenery at you.
In 100 years, so like 2123, we will all be buried with our families and friends. Strangers will live in our homes that we worked so hard to build, and someone else will own everything we have today. Most of our possessions will be given away or thrown out and destroyed, including the car that we spent a fortune on and will probably be scrapped. Our descendants will hardly know who we are, nor will they remember us. I mean, how many of us know who our grandfather's father was? After we die, we will be remembered for a few more years, and then we're just a portrait on someone's wall. And a few decades later, our history, photos, and deeds disappear into history's oblivion. We won't even be memories. If we pause one day to analyze these questions, perhaps we would understand how pointless it is for us to worry about 95% of the things that consume our minds daily. If we could only think about this, surely our approaches, our thoughts would change and we would do things differently. Perhaps we would feel more free to enjoy ourselves and our lives that we're living. Take these thoughts into the rest of your day, this week, this year, and remember the saying, if it's not going to matter in 5 years, don't spend more than 5 minutes being upset by it.
Damn.
In 100 years.
That's some deep shit.
Yeah, she really goes into detail about how nobody will fucking know you.
I know.
She's like, in a couple generations.
So why the fuck does it matter? She's got a fucking good point.
And I try to live that way, like, who cares? Like, because like I like looking up into the sky and seeing stars, and then you start thinking about like how far and how many. They measure things in light years, and you know how fast light is?
Holy shit, yeah.
You know, and we're like billions of light years away from like things.
Fuck. Yeah.
And we can't get to any of them. Like, if we send with our fastest ships that we have, if we send a team to Mars, they won't get there for like 30 years or something like
30
that.
fucking years of travel.
30 years of living on this fucking ship, and they don't
send
even
a 20-year-old, and by the time they're there, they're 50.
Well, yeah, and you basically what you would have to do too. There's a whole system you would need to actually have families on board. So you would need to have a couple, and they would need to have a baby, because eventually that baby would be raised, and
you would need people with certain professional skills
very
to
smart
start
people.
a society.
Very smart people that know how to. Basically, the fucking Martian movie. You know, all those fucking characters. You need them. You need engineers. You need botanists. You need, experts in anatomy. But you don't even know. They don't even know the effects of, having a birth in space. What the fuck is gonna happen with that? They don't. There's a lot of they don't know how a body. I mean, they know that there's issues with the astronauts is bone density and muscles and stuff like that, because they're not using them and they're not being weighed down by gravity. So there's a lot of data on that, but they don't know what happens to your body in like 30 years and shit of space travel, like flying through the fucking cosmos and shit, trying to get to a fucking planet, and I don't know, like there's so many things that could go wrong. It could be year 29 and the fucking thing explodes, dude.
Oh, Jesus.
I mean,
that's too much to think about.
Exactly.
But on that note,
yeah,
we're at the time.
Are we? We're at an hour?
Yeah, well, we're at 51 minutes, but that's only because I gotta go on that date now.
Oh yeah, you gotta leave.
My wife. Yeah,
we'll cut it short.
She's gonna get the Uber right now.
So yeah, basically what I was saying was that you when you start thinking about all of that shit about space and all that stuff, then you're like, why am I even? Our time on here is so short compared to these billions and billions of years.
I know. In the long scheme of it.
So why does it matter?
We're all just ants in the dirt.
Yeah.
We just gotta live. Exactly. We just gotta enjoy it.
There you go.
Yes. That's perfect way to end Digital Cortex Halloween special, talking about mental health and how we can better ourselves as a people.
As we wear costumes.
Yes.
We're definitely in perfect mental health.
It makes total sense if you think about it. All right. My name has been...
Wait.
Wrong one. No. What the fuck?
Hey. There we
go.
There we go.
Yeah. Turn the crickets off. Jesus. Digital Cortex. I've been Thick Wick. He's been Randomstylez. And I guess that's it. Have a good night.
Later.